well, I'm back. Might get some work in today, y'all. Might get some YouTube work in today, baby. I'm feeling good. And man, I'm in the mountains too. The mountains got me feeling good. I'm so high up in the mountains that you can see the clouds, level with the altitude that I'm at. But anyway, y'all didn't come to hear about that. That being said, I want to give you guys a little bit of story time on my very, very, very first super ego low, or attempt low, or the no force dispatch concept. Take that with a grain of salt a little bit. Take that with a grain of salt. Although there is no force dispatch, you also have to keep in mind for yourself that your first impression will be, I think what they remember, your dispatch salespeople will remember about you, and they'll kind of gauge from there. I think what they'll kind of gauge from there what loads that they can offer you. And again, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. So story time. So my orientation was on a Thursday. I think orientation lasts like 2 weeks. What am I talking about? 2 days or so. So drug tests. The first day, as soon as I hopped off the plane, damn near, and check this out, man. This is my first time going through this, right? The Russians own the drug test place. Serbian owned drug test place. They keep it in the family, baby. So anyway, so Thursday and Friday. So Friday, you finish up your orientation. Maybe by the first day, if all goes well, with processing, getting you processed, get your paperwork, getting your truck and everything like that, you may be able to get assigned to a truck the first day, but definitely by the second day you'll be assigned to a truck. I got lucky enough to be assigned to a truck the first day by that evening, so Thursday evening, and I think yeah. So the drug test takes a day to come back. So you get your equipment assigned to you, and again that's taking a couple of days. So I think I went over to the trailer yard and picked up my trailer on a Friday. And by this time it's kind of late afternoon, evening-ish. Keep that in mind. So for me, coming into orientation on Thursday, I was already planning on not getting a load until Monday. I was already planning on that. The salespeople called me Friday. My salesperson. He calls me and says, "Yeah, I got a load for you. Picks up in blah 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 city. Pays. I needed to get back to Florida so that I could, load up my truck with my gear, my tools and stuff. Just my shit, my personal stuff, right? So that was my first load. I wanted to go back to Florida." And I my homeboy QDZ over there, All About Semis. Good friend of mine for a few years now. Probably 6-7 years now. Good friend of mine. Great YouTube channel. He's a mechanic by trade. You know what I'm saying? Good informative channel. So go over there and check him out. Subscribe to his channel. It's a cool brother, man. But he says he got a catchphrase. He says, know your market, you know, and know your numbers. I hear him say this often. Know your market, know your numbers. And so with me knowing, I'm in the Midwest, I'm in Chicago, I know my market. I know I'm in the best situation to succeed, to get a good load. I already know that, right? Salesperson called me, introduced himself as, you know, dispatcher, whatnot. Cool. Let him know who I was. I'm the Hood Chef of Hood Chef TV. That's a joke. But so he said, I got a load for you. Picks up Blase Skippy. They give you all this information, you know, the weight, the delivery day, you know, they give you all this, and then at the end tell you the price offered on the load. Me, I want that information first. Like, tell me the amount first, then the weight, then the, you know, you don't give me a 5-minute speech about the load, and then tell me that it pays crap. Shit, tell me it paid crap up front. But anyway, so it's like $1.50 a mile, y'all. Leaving out of the Midwest, going to Ocala, Florida. I can't remember exactly where it picked up from, but $1.50 a mile. I said, oh hell no. I said no, that's okay. He gets upset a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie. He gets upset a little bit. This is the first load. He said, well, you know. Anyway, I ain't even gonna go there. I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go there. So I declined the load because, again, I was already prepared not to run until Monday. So I told him, no. If that's what's being offered, you know, today, because it was kind of the evening, so maybe, you know, loads were kind of, I don't know. I hadn't looked at the board yet. I hadn't looked at the board that day. So maybe this was the, you know, the low barrel of the loads that, you know, still were available, that they felt like, you know, they could offer at low rate or whatever. I said, no. I said, I'd rather sit till Monday morning and be, you know, be ready, you know, for the week, you know, with some respectable loads. You know, cool. We get off the phone. Weekend dispatch calls me. I didn't even know we had a weekend dispatch. You don't know everything until you go through everything, right? Weekend dispatch called me and says, hey, you know, got a load, blah, blah, blah. They introduced what it was, whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. Weekend dispatch. Got a load, picks up. It picked up in Indiana. Picked up in Indiana, maybe about an hour north of Lafayette. This was Saturday, they called me, if I didn't say that already. $2 or something a mile, go to like Miami. Now Miami was a little bit deeper in Florida than I wanted to be, but you know, just to show you guys that I think that when you set the tone early, you know, as the catchphrase goes, first impression, when you set the tone early, I think is how you will be dealt with. Know your market, as my boy QDZ say. Know your market and know your numbers. And know that in this area, I can't take anything less than whatever amount until you have the education on the areas and the numbers that you know that you should be getting from it. I think that's important. That's very, very important to know. So I just kind of wanted to give a little insight, a little story time on my first load and how the No Force Dispatch kind of works. Is it heavily persuaded to take every load that they call you up and offer you? Absolutely, it's heavily persuaded. It almost feels like forced dispatch. But I think it's very important, and I'll stress this in more videos. I think it's heavily important to be okay with saying no, even if you have to sit a day. And I know a day costs, it's very expensive to sit a day. But I'm gonna tell you something, guys. It's also very expensive to run your truck at rock bottom and everybody gets paid except you. That's expensive. That's expensive to fuel up your truck, so your fuel got paid. The load, the 12% came out. They already, never mind that. So the company got paid because they sold you the load. They got the 12%, so the dispatch and all, that's kind of the dispatch type fee, you know what I'm saying? Out of that, they're gonna take, the truck daily rate out of it, you know what I'm saying? So everything is gonna get paid except you if you take the crappy load. You're not gonna make nothing that day anyway. So for me, just don't take this as advice. But for me, I have to make a conscious effort on if I'm going to run that truck and lose, or if I'm going to sit my ass here and lose. I sit a day. I'm okay with that. And I think once they kind of get a hang of that, then you may be a little bit more successful. If not, it's just not going to work. Because a lot of guys are in the habit of not using the No Force Dispatch as they advertise to their advantage. They run every load. They run every load that's called up. I got a couple people, I've never met them in person, they reached out to me via YouTube, shot them over my email. This young brother wanted, some help. A couple people wanted some help, sent me, very transparent, sent me over his statements and said, hey, can you help? What could I do different? What could I, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at everything. I'm a numbers guy. Okay, boom. You shouldn't have went here for this price. Okay, boom. This was a decent load. Okay, boom. You fueled in this area. Probably shouldn't have. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Boom, boom, boom. I'm very detailed. Boom. Sent that back to him. And maybe in another video, or maybe in this one, I'll maybe try to merge it in. He ran a couple weeks with my advice that I gave him on some things to do and some ways to communicate with the salespeople. And a couple weeks later, he sent me an email. He said, hey, thanks for your advice. I'm starting to see a little bit of progress on my settlements. So, I'll charge the guy nothing for it. That's not what I'm trying to do, though. I'm not saying that I don't want everybody sending me their damn statements and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mind doing it every blue moon, every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs help every now and then. But yeah, if you didn't know, you are tuned in with Hood Chef TV. And like I said, I just wanted to give you guys a little story time, and I think your first impression is going to take you you know, in or out the company, you know, make you a little bit more, a little bit less successful with the company. There's already a very low success rate, with owning the equipment. So, you know, for obvious reasons, so keep that in mind. You know, cooking in a Hammer Lane. Manning, he's in the office. He called me a few weeks ago, and me and him had a long conversation. You know, me and him had a long conversation about the you know, success rate, man. I broke it down to him. You know, you know the numbers, man. This is why right here. So, you know, until certain things can be fixed, I think, you know, until certain things, I'm trying to be nice about it. I'm trying to beat around the bush a little bit about it. I don't want to be too harsh. Until those things can be fixed, man, it's really going to be an uphill battle on increasing the success rate. There you go. Now, that's a good way of saying it. No advertising dollars here. But yeah, man, so what could I say? Hey, you guys be safe. Continue to be safe. Do what you need to do for you. Know your numbers. First impression. You know what I'm saying? And you know, hopefully, you know, you can squeeze out a little bit more in the situation that you're in. You know, it's super ego. So, hey, you don't have to take this as advice. This is just my opinion. You know, this is just what I did.